Hi, it's Mike DelSignore, Massachusetts OUI lawyer. In today's video, I want to talk about what happens if you're arrested for OUI by the Norwood police. If you're arrested by the Norwood police, your case will be heard in Dedham District Court. Your first court date, you're going to enter a not guilty plea. The first session, right when you go through security, straight ahead. Dedham, they have parking. You'll enter a not guilty plea, get another date, what they call pretrial. The judge in Dedham will often waive your appearance for your next pretrial, so only your lawyer will have to appear at that date. And at that date, your lawyer will get the rest of the information from the prosecutor. Norwood generally does have video of the booking, so you should be able to get a copy of the video either on the next date or shortly after. Typically, videos take 60 to 90 days for the district attorney to obtain, copy, and give to your attorney. I can help you every step of the way. I've been going to this court for years, so in this video, that's what I'm going to discuss, everything you need to know. So your first court date is your arraignment. It's not a trial, so you'll just enter a not guilty plea. It's not, the officers aren't going to be there. You're not going to have to say anything, so don't be nervous about this date. But after the court date, I would get a copy of the police report, be able to go over it with you, and begin discussing options in terms of resolving at trial various motions. So you'll have a roadmap of how I think the case is going to turn out and what our strategy is. In the meantime, you might be able to get your license back. If you took a breathalyzer, it's only a 30-day suspension. Request a hearing immediately so that you can get a hearing right after the 30 days expires. So if you took a breath test, just a 30-day suspension, but request a hearing right away after the 30 days so you don't wait any additional time. If you're refused, it is a 6-month suspension. There's no hardship unless you try to resolve the case, so you're going to have to figure out rides and things like that until the case is over. If we can get a not guilty prior to the 6 months, we can ask the judge to reinstate your license on the refusal. But if you did refuse a breath test, you must resolve the case to get back on the road. So hopefully you'll be able to figure out driving so we can fight the case and have you found not guilty. Because the benefit of refusing the test was that the government doesn't have any objective evidence of impairment. So what are they going to rely on? Field sobriety test, the driving, and those things can be very subjective. So let me kind of give you a preview of what a trial would be like on an OUI if you refused a breath test. The officer is going to testify about the driving. Maybe you crossed the marked lane, speeding. They're going to allege some kind of driving infraction. We're going to try to minimize that and show good driving. How we do that is we try to divide up the driving. We try to say, well, did the officer watch you at all before the infraction? So was it something where he was behind you and then all of a sudden there was an infraction? And then once the infraction occurred, how was the driving after? Did you pull over safely immediately? Because that suggests maybe you were looking down at your phone. Maybe it was a momentary mistake in driving. If there's no issue with pulling over, an officer looks to see how you pull over. If you pull over to the side of the road, bring the car to a gradual stop, park appropriately in the breakdown lane. So hopefully we can get some good driving and minimize the bad driving. That's kind of number one. Even if there's a lane violation, we try to emphasize, well, there was no speeding, your headlights were on. It doesn't completely take away the lane violation, but the idea is we're trying to neutralize and limit the sort of the damage or the significance of what the officer is saying is the infraction. Now, next there'll be field sobriety tests. Those tests are walk and turn, one leg stand. The eye test, the HGN, doesn't come into evidence. So we'll be dealing with generally the walk and turn, one leg stand, and sometimes an alphabet test. So there's a lot of reasons why maybe you couldn't stand on one leg other than alcohol. It could be you don't have good balance. There might be medical issues that could explain issues with balance. And it might be the officer really just didn't score the test properly. I had a trial recently where the officer said in the report, my client put his foot down, was unsteady on his feet. So what that left out is, well, how long was the foot up? So at trial and cross-examination, I got the officer to admit the foot was up for the proper amount of time, 30 seconds. So maybe the foot was down, but it couldn't have been down for too long if he has foot up for 30 seconds. And usually the officers don't write in their report about someone looking at their foot or the height. So I was able to get out of the officer during cross-examination that foot was the correct height up, and the person looked at their foot as well. The 9-step walk and turn, you're going out 9, back 9, and turning. What I look for is major observations. Were you stumbling? Were you staggering? If there's no stumbling and staggering, Things like missing heel to toe, stepping off the line. This has to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, highest degree of certainty. So those little things that the officer will say about the 9-step often aren't enough to be significant to say you were impaired. So when you're charged with OUI by the Norwood Police, feel free to give me a call. I know Dedham Court very well. I've had plenty of trials there. I've had cases with that department. Juries are very good in Dedham as well. Dedham District Court has jurors come in from a wide variety of backgrounds, so it's generally a very representative sample of the community. So if you have questions about an OUI in Dedham District Court or arrest by the Norwood Police, feel free to contact me anytime. 781-686-5924. My name is Mike DelSignore. My passion is helping people make the best decisions for themselves when charged with OUI.